Bonjour year 9. What we're going to look at in this little section of the lesson today is using the verb aller in the present tense, but how it can also be used to help you form the future tense as well. So you will need out in front of you your blue book, or both your books, but essentially you need your blue book for the majority of this video part of this lesson, because you're going to be making a few notes in your blue book. Hopefully a lot of this is recap, but it'll be really useful recap of stuff you've done, and it'll hopefully refresh you. You go, yeah, I remember that. So that's essentially what we're going to talk through to start off with. So what we're going to look at is a bit of a near future tense recap or revision, basically saying what you're going to do, but within that we'll be looking at the verb aller as well, the verb to go. Okay, so as you'll be able to see from here, you know your future tense rule is je vais plus verb complet. It's kind of how we've done it with the chant. Je ai, j'ai un ai, je vais plus verb complet. It's a great chant to learn. It doesn't work all the time with all of the verbs, but actually this future tense one does work all the time, which is really useful. But that's great for talking about yourselves. I am going to do this. I am going to do that. I am going to do that. But at times you might want to talk about other people. You might want to say, we are going to do something, or my friends are going to do something. It will add range to your language if you do that, and complexity as well. So we're going to look at how we can do that today. In order to do that, we need to look at where je vais comes from, okay? And therefore how we can talk about other people. So in your blue book, the title is The Verb Aller and the Near Future Tense. Now, I'm going to talk you through the slide, and then what I'd like you to do is pause the video. You should just be able to do that by either double clicking on it, or by, I think there should be a little bar that appears, and you should be able to find the pause button there. But double clicking, I think, works to pause it as well, or single click. I can't remember exactly. You'll experiment and find out. So the title in your blue book will be The Verb Aller and the Near Future Tense. I'll talk you through the slide, and then you can pause the video and make these notes in your blue book. Okay, so je vais, as you've learned for the near future, je vais plus verb complet, it actually comes from the verb aller, which is the verb to go. It's a completely irregular verb, which is why je vais looks nothing like aller. It's just a strange verb, but it's such an important one to learn. So je vais comes from the verb aller, to go, in the present tense, and it means I go or I am going. Super useful for talking in the present tense about where you normally go. So for example, we've done this recently. I think it was our first set of lessons this term on where you normally go on holiday. You could say, normalement, je vais en vacances en France. Normally, I go on holiday to France. That is the present tense. So it's super useful as a verb, the verb to go, to talk in the present tense. Another example, le week-end, je vais au cinéma avec mes amis. At the weekend, I go to the cinema with my friends. Again, present tense. Okay, so this part of it, je vais, that you all should know, is I go or I am going. Okay, the rest of the verb, if you want to talk about other people, is as follows. Okay, so you've got here, aller is the infinitive, the full verb to go. Je vais, I go, I am going. Tu vas, you go or you are going. And you'll see that as a question quite a lot. Il va, he goes or he is going. Elle va, she goes or she is going. On va, we go or we are going. And then you've got nous allons, which is the other way of saying we go or we are going. That's a bit strange, isn't it? I know. Vous allez, you go or you are going. And that's like the polite or the plural way of doing it. Tu vas up here, you go, you are going, is more of it's a singular way, or perhaps a more informal way of saying you, if you're talking to your mates maybe. And then you've got ils vont, they go or they are going, and that's for a mixed group or a male group. And then you've got elles vont, they go or they are going, and that's for just a female group. Okay, all of that there is the verb to go in the present tense. Okay, not the future tense yet, it's in the present tense. So for example, I've used it with je vais up here. I could change that and say, normalement, nous allons en vacances en France. Normally, we go on holiday to France. And there's an increased level of complexity there for you doing that at GCSE. When an examiner looks at it, they go, oh, this is good because they can talk about other people. So it's a really good thing to get into the habit of doing. Okay, Now, I don't know whether this is going to work. What I'd like you to do straight away is just to pause this video and copy those notes into your blue book. I will just keep talking now because you would have paused it. So I don't know whether this will work or not. So if this doesn't work, you can listen to the song just by copying it yourselves. But I'm going to try and share my screen with you and see if you can see this song. You should remember this. It's a really annoying song, but it helps you to remember this verb in the present tense. So the verb aller in the present tense. And let's see if this is going to work. It might not. If it doesn't work, you'll just have to do something yourselves. Copy that link in. And that's a video, which we'll skip in a minute. Right. Okay, so if you could hear that, that's fantastic. I don't know whether that worked or not. I'm just experimenting really with these videos. If that hasn't worked and that wasn't working, then you can just copy that link into YouTube and watch the whole song. It's really annoying, don't get me wrong, but it's really useful for getting that verb to go stuck in your head. Je vais, tu vas, il va, elle va, and then you start to remember it, and it's a great way of remembering that verb. Okay, so remember, that is the verb to go in the present tense. What I'd like you to do now is copy these into your blue book as well. So the verb aller is super useful and absolutely must be learned to allow us to talk in the present tense about places we usually go to. For example, normalement je vais à la plage. Normally I go to the beach. Or example here again, le weekend nous allons au parc. At the weekend we go to the park. So super, super useful for talking in the present tense. Pause the video, copy those into your blue book. And then this is where it comes to be used in the future tense. So not only is it great for the present tense, it's also so useful for helping us to form the near future tense, basically saying what we are going to do in the future. Quite simply, we use the verb aller in the present tense, what we've just learned with that really annoying song, je vais, tu vas, il va, and then we put a full verb or infinitive verb, as it's called, after it to make it into the near future tense. So if you look at my examples, you've got je vais, that's my use of the verb aller in the present tense, I am going. And then regarder is my full verb, my infinitive verb to watch. Put it together, I am going to watch a film. Pretty straightforward. Second example, nous allons, that's my bit of the verb aller in the present tense for we, so we are going. Jouer, to play, that's my full verb infinitive there. Au foot, we are going to play football. So not only is this verb so useful in the present tense, je vais au cinéma, I go to the cinema, je vais à la plage. If we want to make the future tense, near future tense, it's super useful, je vais plus a full verb, or nous allons plus the full verb, or whatever it might be. Okay, so and I would like you also to pause the video now and copy those notes into your blue book. Right, last bit for your blue book is the time frames. So these are saying when you're going to do something. So basically ways you're going to introduce the near future tense. So if we go through these, we've got le weekend prochain, which is next weekend. Just notice your word order. It is not that way around in French. It is the weekend next. Basically, whenever you see prochain or prochaine, it means next, and it's likely to mean that what comes after it is in the future tense. Okay, la semaine prochaine is next week, or the week next, as you say in French. L'année prochaine is next year, or the year next. Okay, just notice your word order. Then you've got dans le futur. Look at the spelling of future. There is no E on the end of it in French. There is in English, obviously. There's no E on the end of it in French. So in the future. All students at GCSE will use that one. À l'avenir also means in the future. It's just a slightly nicer way of saying it, or a way that not all students at GCSE will say it. So it's a really good one to learn. Instead of going dans le futur, you can say à l'avenir, and it just, again, adds that complexity to your work. Okay, so pause the video, copy those underneath your notes in your blue book already on what we've done. And now we'll just go through 3 examples together before you, these are the near future, before you do some yourselves. Okay, so I'm going to put another one here just to get you thinking as well. Right, so let's have a little look. Next weekend, I'm going to listen to music. So I need my time frame, le weekend prochain. Okay, so there's my time frame. I am going, so that's my verb aller in the present tense, je vais. To listen, now I need my full verb écouter. Okay, so le week-end prochain, je vais écouter de la musique. Or la musique, let's just go with la musique, it's fine. Okay. Je vais, I am going, that's aller in the present tense, écouter, full verb after it. In the future, let's use à l'avenir because it's much nicer. À l'avenir, we are going. So let's think, right, I've got to go back. We are going. Look at my blue book notes. How do I say we are going? Well, I've got a choice. I'm going to go with nous allons. You could have had on va. Absolutely fine. They both mean we are going. Nous allons. So that's we are going. To eat. So I need my full verb now. Manger. Oh, not spelled like that. Manger. More fruit. Plus de fruits. Okay. So à l'avenir, that's my time frame in the future. Nous allons, we are going. That's my bit of aller in the present tense, followed by a full verb. Here we use manger, to eat. Okay, makes it into the future. We are going to eat more fruit. Last one here. Next week, la semaine prochaine. Okay, so that's my time frame. They are going to play. So I need to go back to my verb aller in the present tense. They are going was ils vont or elles vont. Okay, so you have either or. La semaine prochaine, we'll go with ils vont. Ils vont, they are going to play. I need my full verb to play. Jouer au foot. La semaine prochaine, time phrase, next weekend. They are going. Ils vont, that's my bit of aller in the present tense. To play, that's the infinitive there, the full verb after it, to play. Okay, which makes it into the near future now. Ils vont jouer, they are going to play au foot, football. Now, but you do have to be careful, okay? So here, normally I go to the theatre. This is not the future tense. This is the present tense. We're still using the verb to go, but it's not going to be followed by a full verb after it. It's going to be followed by a place. So normalement, je vais, no full verb after it, or théâtre. Oh, I've got to get an accent, sorry. If I want to do this right, I need to get a proper accent here. Look, let's see what we can find. That's the one. Theatre's exactly the same spelling in English as in French. It's just got an accent over the E like that, accent aigu, and then it's got a circumflex over the as well. So normalement, je vais au théâtre. That's not the future, that's the present tense. So je vais, but it's not followed by a full verb, it's followed by a place. Okay, so the verb aller, really, really, really useful in the present tense because it's fantastic for talking in the present tense about where you go normally, but it's also used to help us form the future tense to talk about where we are going to go in the future. Over to you now, the next 2 slides. So once this video is finished, you should be able to go to slide 20 to do the activities to practice this from slide 20 onwards. Okay, so good luck with that. Obviously, if you've got any questions, just send them via email, and I will please send me your work when you've done it, so I can mark it and give you some feedback as well.